Accountability coach is basically somebody who will help you from where you are right now to where you want to go or where you want to be. I'm not your business coach because I believe that you know your business best. Procrastination is all about an underlying trigger or underlying fear which we have not yet identified. If there is no will, no amount of skill is going to help you. Mind is made for ideas and not for storing things. You're using it for storing things, and that is why you're not able to generate any ideas. Always dump things onto paper and see the magic happen.
Good afternoon once again to all my listeners, and welcome back. It's been a few weeks since I've done this episode. So welcome back all of you, and thanks for being there. I have a very, very special guest today. I know I say this about all my guests, but trust me, all my guests are special. And the one today you'll find even more special. After I tell you what he does, you'll all realize why I'm saying it. So he's a multifaceted personality, although he will not say it himself. I'm saying it. He is a dentist by qualification and by his profession, I think. But at the same time, is what I call, or what he calls rather, an accountability coach. And we're going to specifically talk to him about accountability coach today, because frankly speaking, I think it's more interesting as an accountability coach than as a dentist. Okay. And I'll read you a little bit about his profile which he has sent me. I think it's very beautifully written. So I'll read it verbatim so that you don't miss out on anything. So he says the unique blend of professional expertise and a passion for personal development and committed to helping individuals and businesses reach their full potential. As the founder of I for Accountability, I leverage my background in accountability coaching and dentistry to offer a comprehensive approach to growth and success. So, I think without further ado, let me introduce my good friend, Dr. Ajinkya Raut. Good afternoon, Ajinkya, and welcome to.
Thank you so much, Vipul, firstly for having me here and for that very generous and kind introduction that you had. So thank you so much for that, and it's such a pleasure being here with you today. I've been listening to some of your episodes, and
Thank you.
I'm really honored to be here.
Thank you very much. Okay, so what uh, got me more fascinated uh, to invite you to this podcast was this fact that you are a accountability coach. Although
Right.
I know what it is because I have spoken to a few times about what it is. But I just thought people who join this podcast also should know what we do. So let's begin with knowing what an accountability coach is and what do you do? How are you different? So if you can tell me what that
Okay. So, if I have to answer what is an accountability coach is basically somebody who will help you from where you are right now to where you want to go or where you want to be. Okay. Think of this like, you have a workout buddy,
is, right?
okay, who pushes you, who encourages you to do that, last repetition, or make sure that you go to the gym every day, or he will tag you along, or whatever it is. Just like that, you have somebody who will hold you accountable for your goals. Okay.
Right.
Just that instead of taking you to the gym, I'm going to make sure that you do the tasks that you had said that you would do. So accountability coach is somebody who keeps you on the track and pursuit of your goal and keeps you reminding about it every single day.
So you actually get into the micro details of, let's say, your client business. I mean, I'm assuming more people get you on board as an accountability coach for their business or as a professional
True,
needs. So do you
true.
get into micro details?
See, if you actually look at it, everybody knows what they need to do. Everybody knows that they need to get up early. Everybody knows they need to do a certain set of actions. Everybody knows that these are the things that they need to do for them to hit their milestone. Okay, but they are not doing it. Okay, so there's
Right,
something definitely standing between that milestone and themselves. Okay,
right,
I have to figure out what is that something. And this will happen only if I sit with them and get into the micros. And more often than not, it is not always direct. Like I will not sit with Vipul and say, okay, Vipul, what is stopping you? because Vipul will be like, I'm doing everything. So I have to actually be with Vipul. When I say be with Vipul, as in I have to ask him how his day has been, what does he do on a regular basis, and then from that, those conversations, I pick up certain patterns of Vipul. Okay, now I'm saying Vipul because you're in front of me, but I will pick up certain patterns and say, okay, Vipul, this is what is stopping you. Actually, you are saying that you're doing things, but you are not really doing things that matter the most. You might be just busy, but you're not banging the right target.
All of this you do after, the reason I'm asking you, you began as a dentist.
Right.
And and how did you? Did you take formal training in accountability? So how did the
Uh,
journey happen from being a dentist to?
it's a very interesting story, and I will tell you. Even as a dentist, I enjoy my dentistry, and yes, I'm trained as a dentist. But it is something my patients actually told me that I do a great follow up, and follow up doesn't mean that I will call them and ask them when are they coming next for their appointment. It was about, so if somebody has come to me yesterday, I will check on them today and ask, okay, we had a sitting yesterday. How are you feeling today? And that is something that they really liked, and they said our previous dentist never would do that. He would not check on us, but this is something that came naturally to me, and I realized that I'm a part of BNI and I'm part of that networking organization, and whenever I would meet people, somehow memory is a good friend right now so far. So I would pick up those conversations that I have had previously. I would at least have some track of it. And somewhere or the other, that got linked to them doing better. As a director consultant in BNI, also I got the opportunity to meet and coach a lot of people, and I realized this is what I was doing, and it was impacting people positively. And that is how I realized, okay, that this is something that can be done. Also, something that pushed me towards this was I was working with a business coach, actually my uncle, and he had his participants, and I would do a fortnightly review with them, where I would just check on the implementation that they are doing from the learnings that they have had in the session. Okay. And we found out that if there's somebody to check on you, somebody to ask you, okay, did you implement? And if you did not implement, why did you not implement? If you were there hand holding, helping them solve that obstacle, they have seen better results. So if somebody was probably, let's say, at 10 or 20% result, they dramatically increase to 60 or 70% of results. So that is where accountability started actually. At that time, we were just calling it a review mechanism. But it is COVID actually that changed a lot of things for a lot of us.
Right.
COVID, we saw ourselves attending a lot of webinars, and one day I just asked my question, okay, we are attending a lot of webinars. When are we going to implement it, and how are we going to implement it, and who's going to, keep a track of all of this? And
Yeah.
that's where the accountability idea came in. And I started that, or rather, we started that off. I did that with one of my friends, and we started that journey together. And that's how I for accountability actually came into picture.
Okay. Okay. So, it's not a surprise that accountability is one of the core values of game.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
And, as we say in Vinay, what gets measured gets
Sure, it
better,
gets done. Yeah,
gets
better.
done and gets
True.
improved. So, yeah, so perfect. So now you kind of do this almost full time or full time?
So I would, you know what, I get asked about this a lot of times. See, when you're trained in a certain thing, it is expected that you would pursue that as a profession.
Right.
Uh, and somehow the societal norm is that, okay, that's the only thing you can do, But again, coming in BNI, I realized that you can do a lot more. And dental practice in urban cities, specifically, or the kind of practice that I do, is so limited. I mean, limited in terms of time. Like my clinical practice is barely 4 hours or 6 hours of the day. It's not more. And again, thank you to BNI, we have had the system of waking up early now. So I would say I'm putting a lot more time in making people accountable than I'm putting in straightening their teeth or getting their teeth done. But yeah, so you can say accountability has become my full-time profession, and dentistry is something that keeps it going.
Okay. So coming back to my earlier question, did you get formal training in being an accountability coach?
No, not really. But I'm looking at there is a coaching that happens. Obviously, there is something called as ICF. I have formally not gotten any training done. But if you actually see, it is all about individual cases, and it is about individual systems and individual processes. So I customize that according to my client's need, and yeah, I mean, I'm growing with my clients is what you can say.
Great, great. So, because I was intrigued, I have not heard this. I've heard other
Other
coaching,
coaching.
and
Yes, yes,
business coaching.
yes.
Even within business coaching, there are various types of
Types of
coaches.
coaching, you're right.
And this was, so I was a little interested in doing formal training. So, a business coach is typically somebody who helps businesses evolve, go to the next level, and things like that. Right? And we've had got a couple of, in fact, some of the
Right,
BNI coaches that we there, and
right.
more or less, it's the same uh, kind of thing. And so, how are you different from them? In we have to look at it closely.
Perfect. Again, a very interesting question, and I get
Ask this
asked
a lot,
this
I'm sure.
quite a lot of times. In fact, by my clients when I onboard them, that okay, how are you different than a business coach? And my answer is I'm not your business coach because I believe that you know your business best, and obviously it will really help if you have a business coach on board because business coach will tell you strategy and talk about scaling up things.
Right.
Okay, and you will learn a lot of strategy and how to scale up things, and they will give you a lot of action items. But again, they will give you all the strategy, and if you don't execute it, you're going to fall flat and you're not going to see any results. So as I said earlier, I'm the one who is the link between strategy and execution. Again, uh, I will come with you. I will sit down and we will, put that strategy on the paper and see how, okay, let's say Vipul is going to execute this as per Vipul's liking, or
Yeah.
as per
Right.
what works best. Yeah.
Correct.
So I'm not a business coach, and this is something I tell my clients outright that I'm not a business coach.
Okay.
I expect you to know everything,
All right.
and I will help you execute.
So that kind of explains, I mean, at least to me. So we'll take a question from which has come out of the community. And this is a question which I was expecting. So there on my mind as well.
Okay,
So when I read the
okay,
question, you'll understand what it is. So
okay,
Arnav Shinde has posted this question. He
okay,
asks, we all have moments of procrastination.
correct.
From your experience, what are some common reasons why people tend to pull things off, and how can someone recognize their own procrastination triggers?
Oh, lovely question. Because I've been reading up a lot about procrastination, and I will tell you a personal story. I hate making calls. I hate talking on the phone for some reason or the other. Because one, it is kind of a black hole. Like if you typically pick somebody's phone, they would not come to the point immediately. They would want to talk everything around and then come to the point. And that is why I tend to, have that person send me a message as to what that call is about. Coming
Right.
to the question as to what makes us procrastinate, one is there is a certain kind of fear, or fear is the wrong word actually, but there is a sense that uh, I'm not going to like this. For example,
Right.
making an uncomfortable call, you will procrastinate it for a long, long time because you have somehow made that conversation in your mind and you know that it is not going to play out well. That is a
Right.
procrastination.
Right.
Second most common reason people would say kantala aa raha hai. You know, that is the most common kantala aa raha hai because you are a slave of your mood.
Right.
But what I have seen that if something is put on my calendar, my mood is no more, the commanding authority.
Right.
I'm no more a slave to my mood. So, if it is put on the calendar, it has to be done. So that way,
Right.
things get executed from my side. More often, procrastination is all about an underlying trigger or underlying fear, which we have not yet identified. That, for example, in my case, I do not make confrontational calls, or I delay or defer confrontational calls, or calls that are going to like take too long because I know this is going to be a time waster. Like even today, in fact, I want to make a call to one of my relatives,
Okay.
and I know what that call is going to be about, and I'm going to put it off till I feel like having the need to do it, till it comes onto my head. So, simple answer to that question is identify what is it that is really putting you off. It is never Kantala, or it is never. There is something deeper that is on the procrastination level, on the mindset level, that is putting you off things, and you need to identify that. I usually sit with my clients and we find out a pattern. So if somebody tells me that I've been procrastinating on this, I do a lot of deep dive as to why you're procrastinating. Okay, what made you procrastinate? And then figure out, okay, this is what you are not liking to do, and this is why you're procrastinating. And if there is a way to attack that root cause, we see procrastination, like changing the.
Okay, wonderful. So there are different reasons, of course,
Yeah.
just to sum up your answer to Arnav's question. There are various reasons. It could not, and one of the major important reasons could be fear or anxiety
Fear.
about
Yeah.
doing a task,
Yeah.
or lack of
True.
competence, or for not
Huh.
liking to do it, and things
Right.
like that. And then you tend to put it off. So you actually sit there and break down those
Right.
reasons, and then you help
Right.
wherever it is possible.
Right. Can I just give one more example at a very childhood level? If I would say, like, if I don't like maths, but I still have to do it, right? But I will want to delay it just because I don't like it. But if I like maths, it is going to be the first textbook, is the first homework that is going to get done. Just
Right.
because simply I like it and it comes naturally to me. So it's a very human thing that we will get attracted to things we like and we will repel things we don't like. We will want to go away from things, but still, we have to do those things, and that is what makes it procrastinate.
I think, anecdotally speaking,
Yeah,
whenever somebody speaks of procrastination, unfortunately, mathematics gets added to it.
exactly.
In
See,
most cases, I mean, whenever I've had a discussion on procrastination, this is the exact example you typically
correct,
give me. And I think it's
correct.
got something to do with liking or things like that.
Yeah, true. I'm most relatable, I feel.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll take one more question from Sham.
Sure.
It's Sham Mukul. It's like starting a new tasks can feel daunting. What are some
Right.
strategies you suggest for pushing past that initial hesitation? And how can
Oh,
someone
lovely.
find the motivation to begin? No, I'll be happy to
Okay.
do it because I want to get onto a weight loss program. So,
Okay. Perfect. So one is the overwhelm is in the mind.
yeah,
Okay. And sometimes obviously it is physical when you see a lot of clutter around you and you are going to be overwhelmed and you will not know what to do first. But most overwhelm is in the mind कि मुझे इतना सारा काम करना है. And in such cases, the strategy that I apply is, okay, list down what is it that you want to do. For
right,
example, now you said you want to lose weight. Okay.
right,
Now lose weight is a concept in your head.
correct,
Okay. But if I ask you, okay, where are you currently and where do you want to be? Now I have defined that weight loss for you. And okay, now you realize, okay, I need to lose, let's say, 5 kgs. Okay.
right,
But still, it is not complete. Okay. I mean, there is no deadline attached to it. 5 kgs by when? Are you going to take like forever to? So, okay, then we put a deadline to it, that this is when I want to lose. By this time is when I want to lose 5 kgs. Okay. And now, what are the things that will help me lose weight? So now, okay, typically it's going to be diet, it's going to be gym, walk 10,000 steps, etc., etc., etc. And
right.
maybe there are five, six things. I'm going to ask Vipul. Vipul, tell me one thing that you feel that you will do very easily, out of say diet, gym, walking. These are the three things that I'm recommending you to start.
Right. So I'll begin with maybe 10,000 steps a day.
Right?
Among the three of them, these three,
Yeah,
between the three, this one sounds easiest to be done. Or it's
right,
not
right.
easy,
No,
but easiest to be done.
right. So here is where I see, okay, now you have said you will start with 10,000 steps. But Vipul, is it could be practical? How often do you walk in a day? What is your current, can you like just check your pedometer? When I check your pedometer, you might say like, okay, I'm averaging at 3,000 steps,
Right.
day. Okay, so now Vipul, how do we increase it to 5,000 steps a day? How do we take it to 6,000 steps a day? Then I'm going to be with you for like a week, 2 weeks, and say, okay, now we have reached, 6,000. Can we add an element of diet, you know, and then continue with our steps? Now it is suddenly not overwhelming. Now I'm not telling Vipul कि दुनिया की सारी चीजें कर तो weight loss होगा. It is about understanding you, understanding your body, understanding how it works. So Vipul could have said easily, okay, gym attracts me the most. I'm going to go to the gym. That's going to work the best for me. So I would have said, okay, fine. Let's start with 30 minutes of gym every day, not an hour, but 30 minutes of gym every day, and get back to me and say, okay. So to again answer his question, break down to the most simplest task that you need to do to get a step forward. You know, now for example, it could be, mm, uh, I want to make my website. You know, people have been procrastinating it for so long. I want to make a website. Okay, which means what? Now these are the steps that you need to do. First and the foremost step is call a website designer, for example, to book the
Correct.
domain. Okay,
Right.
or list the domain names. Okay, now once you have list kar diya, okay, now once I have listed the domain names, now next step is call the website developer. So you break down it into simplest possible task and do that task. Uh, can I again share a success story?
Yep.
Success story, but something that I did with a client recently. Uh, I was working with this. I am working with this interior designer, and it was the first session that we were working on. And he said his first priority is his health, and he has to get his 2D echo appointment done. Okay, no, sorry, stress test appointment done. So I said, okay, how long is it going to take you to make that appointment? So he said, yeah, I mean, like just 2 minutes. I just have to make that call. So I stopped the session in between and I told him, okay, make that call now. Make that call now. Okay. And he made that call now at that particular time. He got that appointment and he got his stress test done. You know, it was as simple as that, but there was nobody to tell him कि अभी के अभी phone कर because you are in middle of everything and you are not making time for that crucial thing. It's such a crucial thing. It was top priority for him on his personal list. But it was just a matter of 2 minutes.
Right.
So set that ball rolling, get that appointment, just go to it and put it on your calendar and go for it.
So sometimes it can be something as simple as setting the ball rolling. I mean, it could just be
Yeah,
somebody just telling you make that call. I mean, there's nothing
yeah,
else. Right?
yeah.
There's no
There's nothing
rocket
else.
science involved.
There's nothing else. I just tell them to okay, just make that call and update me in the next 10 minutes what happens, and somehow, thankfully, I've got good clients. They make that call back and say, yeah, it was so easy. Why didn't you do it earlier?
So I think the first step everybody should put on all their lists is get an accountability.
Uh, yes,
I
I
think that
guess.
should be the
Yeah,
number one step
yeah.
because everything else will then slowly fall into.
I'll not to sabotage myself or something of that sort, but I'll tell you one thing that works always is having a declaration. Accountability is all about declaration because
I agree.
you know you just pick up somebody or you tell it to your environment. When I say, for example, in if I have to pick up your case, people that you want to lose weight, till you don't tell your immediate environment, I will tell you that you are not going to lose weight. So, in fact, the first step for you is to create an accountability, is to tell your environment. So, it could be tell your mom or tell your wife that you want to lose weight and it is important to you. So, the why is very important. Okay. And you tell them that if at all you ever make gajar ka halwa, I am not going to eat it. Okay. So, don't make it for me. And honestly, this has worked for me because every single time I've tried to go on a diet, my mom makes a sweet dish at home. Like, I don't know why, like conspiracy theory or something, but the point is declare it to them, declare it to
Maybe she's testing your willpower.
God knows. And I think the last time I didn't really give up, I was absolutely is to declare it because they are the ones who are going to support this. They are the ones who are
Correct.
going to make things happen. And once you declare, you automatically become accountable because you're like, कि मैंने बोला था इनको कि मैं करने वाला हूँ, and now if I don't do, they're going to like take my case for the entire life.
Correct.
So declaration is what everybody should do.
Okay, I'll take one more question from the
Yeah,
audience. This is
yeah,
from Siddharth Gupta. This question
yeah.
is, in your experience, what's the biggest barrier to face when trying to be more accountable?
What
Is
is
there
the
a
biggest
barrier?
barrier?
Is
Hmm.
there a barrier that, I mean, commonly found barrier that the people face when they try to be accountable?
Right. So I think if I have to talk about, I'll talk about two barriers. One is mindset, okay, and the second one is environment, okay. You want to do a lot of things. For example, you want to scale up in your organization or you want to scale up your business. My question to a lot of people is, okay, how supportive is your environment? Do you have the capital that is required? Firstly, when you say you want to scale up, which means you will have to do X number of things जो शायद से फिजिकली कुछ कुछ चीजें पॉसिबल होंगी. फॉर एग्जाम्पल यू माइट वांट टू डू फ्री मार्केटिंग, फ्री ads and all of that you might want to do till a certain limit, but there would be a step that would require some amount of capital investment going in. Now that is where a barrier comes in कि यार मेरे को करना है लेकिन मेरे पास पैसे नहीं है. Okay, now then suddenly you have moved from goal A to goal B, that is securing capital investment. Then
Right.
goal A takes, for the sake of goal A, you are taking up goal B of securing investment. Okay,
Okay.
but the point is you're still on track of goal A, but goal B is a supplemental task to goal A. So
Right.
barrier is environment and obviously mindset. If I have to say, I'll give you an example again. Uh, there was this woman who had come to me and she said, "I want to make my daughter lose, weight. She is above 100 kgs, and I want the daughter to lose weight. The daughter lives in US, okay, and I'm here, okay." And I said, "Okay, has she consulted any dietitian?" Like, no, no, I know you only can do it, and all of that. All that faith was there, and I did not onboard the client. So when I say onboard, I did not charge them. I said 1 week I want to just uh, check
Right.
with this pattern and how it is going. And I realized that the girl didn't want to lose weight. The girl was happy where she is, or the girl was happy or comfortable in such a case. I cannot help only because there's no willpower to lose weight. There is no
Right.
willingness to lose weight, right? So if there is no will, no amount of skill is going to help you, right?
Right.
So mindset and environment are two major barriers, I would say, to achieve goals.
Okay. So we'll take one more question. This is from Meera
Sure.
Sawan.
Very interesting questions, by the way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Great
mean, we get
audience.
some
Yeah.
super, and these are the questions which are in my mind, but they frame it much better than I can. So I copy,
Yeah.
right? So Amira Chavan has this question. So, what simple daily habits can someone adopt to start being more accountable to their goals?
Lovely. One is find an accountability partner. It could be a
Right.
friend, never your spouse. I would say don't make spouses your accountability partners because it
You end
doesn't
up
ruin the
fighting.
relationship. Yeah, it kind of you end up fighting. This is what I have noticed, and also it's easy to slip. It's easy to take each other for granted. You need really high amount of willpower to have an accountable couple relationship, to be honest. In my opinion, it doesn't work. But find an accountability partner, a positive, a friend who wishes you well, okay, or found an accountability or find an accountability coach. Simple habits, I will again give you out of experience that I do. I plan my day the night before or the evening before. So, for example, I plan my tomorrow tonight. I will sit down. I'll take 15-20 minutes, but I know exactly what is going to happen tomorrow. So that is one. And also every Sunday
Right.
evening, late in the evening, maybe 8, 9-ish, if I am at home or wherever I am actually, I make sure that I have planned my week ahead.
Okay.
Okay, so my three focuses of the week have been planned on Sunday. Okay, this week
Okay.
is all about. It could be as simple as shopping. It could be as simple as having those crucial meetings with a client, or these are the three things that I need to do to get ahead in my goal.
So those
So
three, so the three top goals for the week, and then
for the
each
week.
day in the night, then you plan the
Yes,
next day.
yes,
That's
yes.
that's
That is
really
that is the simplest thing that you can do. See the magic happening, and also one thing that if you really want to know where you are putting your time, uh, I suggest very strongly do a 15 day, at least a 15 day time audit. Okay, what do I mean by time audit? तुम पैसे कैसे खर्च करते हो वो तुम हिसाब रखते हो ना कि मैंने सौ
Correct.
रुपए इधर दिए, 1000 रुपए उधर दिए, 500 रुपए उधर दिए. So you know where you are spending. One day I was sitting with my accounts and I realized I'm spending 6,000 rupees on Zomato. Just like that, because it's so it's virtual money. But when I sat with the time audit, I realized that there were so many unproductive activities that I was doing through the day, and
Correct.
that is what your time audit will tell you. So do a time audit every hour. Set an alarm every hour. Just write down what are the things you have done without any judgment. Don't judge yourself.
Okay.
Okay,
Mhm.
just write down these tasks. I'm telling you, 4, 5, 6, 7 days later, you will automatically start becoming productive.
Yeah, you will suddenly start seeing the areas where you are, wrongly utilizing your time and maybe
Yeah,
free
yeah.
up some time. You're right. I mean, you say, I'll just show you something I do. I think. Just to
Okay,
brag a
sure.
bit. So this is a diary. It is always there with me. You'll
Right.
always find it in my left pocket.
Hmm.
Now I write down the smallest. I don't want to keep it in my mind and clutter it.
Mine.
So,
So
so that's,
lovely.
and then I
A
tick
very
off.
good.
And every time I tick it, I feel pretty happy.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And again, something that you said obviously is also said by David Allen, who has written Getting Things Done, a great book on productivity. He says the same thing, that your mind is made for ideas and not for storing things. But you're
Correct.
using it for storing ideas, and you're using it for storing things, and that is why you're not able to generate any ideas. So always, dump things onto paper and see the
Correct.
magic happen.
And it's fun to do it on paper than to do it on mobile.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And today technology has spoiled us. Like you can
That's
go, okay
personal
Siri,
experience.
yeah, like okay Siri, remember this, put this in
Yeah.
the task list or whatever.
Correct. Okay, so what is your methodology of engaging with a client? And and there's another question which Siddhi
Yeah,
Dubey has asked. So
right,
I'll probably phrase it alongside. So what techniques do you use to tailor accountability coaching for different people? So,
right.
what are your? I mean, I'm sure there are some tools. Although you said that it's customized, I'm sure
Yeah,
it's
it's
some
very
tool.
much customized. It's very much customized. So, see, always there is always a first discovery session to know
Right.
what exactly is the client wanting and what are they wanting to achieve, what is their long-term goal, and what is it they want to achieve in the short term. And are these two aligned goals? Like, are they going in the same direction?
Right.
Because otherwise, I'm wasting 3 months doing nothing and we are not really moving towards that goal. So one is to assess. First is to assess. Second is to break down their goals and put milestones, so that we can track our progress. If I'm going on a journey, I need to know where I have reached every single hour or every single day. मुझे पता होना चाहिए कि मैं कहाँ पे पहुंचा हूँ. So tracking milestones or putting milestones. For example, there's one client we are working with for almost last 9 months, and her goal is to increase her revenue to an amount, okay,
Right.
to an X amount. So now we started working backwards and say, okay, what are we going to be at this particular quarter, at the end of the quarter 2, at the end of quarter 3, and are we reaching there?
Right.
Every single quarter, then we just take a hard call. In fact, I don't do it every quarter. I do it on a weekly basis to find out, okay, are we going towards? Is there any tweak that is needed? So that is one technique. Second technique, is sometimes people just don't want to, have a year-long goal, but they just want to work on a 3 monthly goal. But again, this will still be broken down into the smallest action step that is needed. And what is a metric that we can track? You know, for example, somebody wants to increase revenue or have more clients, which means they got to do a certain amount of calls or they want to do a certain amount of meetings. Because बैठ के तो कॉल होने नहीं वाला, बैठ के तो तुम्हारा
Right.
इंक्रीज नहीं होने वाला है. So what is it? What is it that will move the needle? Then we track that needle on a daily basis or a weekly basis. So that is one. And to make sure that things get done, there is this system called as the Kanban board. I don't know if a lot of people know, but it is simply having a physical list. I prefer that people have a physical list and not a soft copy or a board like this. wherever they are working, even if it is, the inside of their cupboard, to have a Kanban board. One list says, to do. Uh, then the second list or second column says doing, and the third column says done. And every single night or every single evening, they move the post-its from to do to doing or doing to done, so that it is a physical, visual reminder of how things are progressing. And at any given point of time, there should not be more than 5 to 7 items on your doing list, because otherwise, then you're too overwhelmed with work.
So, overwhelm brings me to a very interesting question which Anand Sharma has asked.
Yeah.
Uh, how can we communicate our accountability to others without
Hmm.
sounding too
Without sounding too,
demanding?
without sounding too demanding. Okay,
So
accountability
I guess
is.
here he wants
Yeah.
to, wants to say, let's say, accountability is being demanded out of, let's say, somebody who's working with you.
Right.
How do you sound that without sounding too demanding?
Okay, it's a very good and interesting question again. So I understand that, let's say, I'm going to frame this question as an example, that there is an employee and you are asking him to be accountable without seeming that you're demanding this out of him, without
Correct.
being very bossy about it.
Correct.
Okay. This involves a lot of conversations actually without making it sound very demanding, you know.
Correct.
And those questioning has to be very internal driven, and not the moment it is, you know, bossy, or the moment it is externally driven as to why you're not doing this, तेरे को समझता नहीं है क्या, कितना problem है, whatever. If you frame it that way, it's not going to work. But if you make it very internally driven and say, okay, Vipul, what is stopping you from doing this? What is the obstacle? You were supposed to do this at this particular time, but somehow I see that this has not been achieved. Okay. Is there anything that is stopping you from getting this goal? Where are you stuck? What is happening? Is there something I could help you? Then the conversation becomes more collaborative and open to discuss, rather than a blame game coming in. Also, it will all depend on the nature of relationship you share. For example, Vipul is a friend, and I can just, like, tell Vipul, क्या चल रहा है, तूने मेरे को बोला था कि you're going to lose weight. I'm only seeing you piling on more weight. What is happening? You know, that is a different relationship. I can be bossy here, I can be demanding here, but let's say the equation is, you are, maybe you are an employee and I'm the boss. Right? One culture of accountability in any company has to be there. Uh, Not every time can I expect a boss to say कि okay, आजा चल बैठ के बात करते कि क्यों नहीं हो रहा है. But if you're seeing a pattern that is happening, then it is a time to sit and discuss as to why that accountability is not there.
Not
You know,
okay. So, I think the audience, they're getting the riff that I have in my mind, and they're putting it much better than I would have liked. So I'll again borrow a
right?
question which
Sure.
has been put by Advait Singh. He says, how can
Right.
someone gain their focus if they feel distracted by life's daily challenge?
Life's daily challenges. Can you just read the
Can I
question
read? Should I
again?
read it again? So the
Yeah,
question is,
please.
how can someone regain their focus if they
Hmm.
feel distracted by life's daily challenge? So let's say I set a
Okay.
goal again of losing 5 kilos in a quarter, and
Hmm.
suddenly there is Diwali, and
Hmm.
suddenly there is Christmas, there is a New Year's Eve, there's a BNI social,
Hmm.
and all of these things happen, right? And it takes me out of the zone of what I need to do. So how do I bring myself
That's
back, and how do you help them?
that's the beauty. That's the beauty of life. It's very unpredictable, and it keeps coming in between and keeps happening in between when you are on the pursuit of your goal. But at the same time, everything's a part of everything, right? This is a part of life. You've got to pursue your goal, but at the same time, you've got to enjoy your life also. If
Correct.
you're calling distractions, where for example, your friends are going out for a movie, and you have been called. And you are in middle of something that you don't want to leave, it is a choice you're going to make कि मैं मूवी के लिए जाऊं कि नहीं जाऊं. Okay, now you're torn apart कि मैं मूवी के लिए जाऊं कि नहीं जाऊं. If you are my client, I'm going to sit and question you for a moment and as to what is important, and I'm okay with the client going for a movie because I genuinely feel that we all need a break.
Right.
Okay. But if this keeps happening over a repeated,
Right.
attempt, and every single time, okay, Vipul is coming and telling me, okay, now I want to go for a movie. Okay, now you know what, I didn't do this because I had this family problem. You know what, I didn't do this because my XYZ was sick. I didn't do this because X. Now there is a pattern that I'm observing as to where Vipul is very, very, either he is committed towards his family, or his family, he needs a support
Right.
system that needs to be built there. And I'm the one who's going to tell him, hey, Vipul, you know what? This is what I'm seeing. You need a certain amount of support system happening at your family side, so that you can focus on your goals. Uh,
Right.
Till that doesn't happen, maybe our goals are going to take a backseat. Okay. Again, it all boils down to pattern identification and your awareness कि मैं ये कब कब मेरा फोकस टूट रहा है. अगर मेरे को मेरी गर्लफ्रेंड फोन कर रही है तब मेरा फोकस टूट रहा है, मेरे दोस्त फोन कर रहे हैं तब फोकस टूट रहा है, मेरे को कोई फोन गॉसिप करने के लिए फोन कर रहा है तो मेरा फोकस टूट रहा है. What is it that is really distracting me, and where do I give in easily, and then stop that, and make that, work around that solution.
Correct. So finding that B, the B to that A goal, work on that B, resolve that B, and then we focus on the A, like we discussed in the first part.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
When we
yeah,
discussed
yeah,
related to the fundraising part, where
yeah. Right, right. मतलब
somewhat like
you
that.
know challenges हमेशा आएंगे, challenges लाइफ में आएंगे ही, बट अगर हमेशा challenges आ रहे हैं और हम गोल पे नहीं बैठ पा रहे हैं, तो हमें ये असेस करना है कि ये मैं चैलेंज को कैसे solve कर सकता हूँ. Can some of this be delegated to somebody? Can some of this be done by somebody else? Can somebody else take care of my goals, while
While you are doing the job.
while I'm navigating life? Can this be done? If you can figure that out, then both things can run parallelly. you know uh, People who run multiple businesses, how do they do it? They do it because they have good heads,
Right.
doing everything. So,
So, you're one of them. There are multiple. Right? You are an accountability coach. You are dentist for 4 hours in a day or 5 hours in a day, as you also said. And you handle a region in BNI, which is
right,
fast growing. So it brings me to the question for which I always ask my guests here. You are a business networker. So tell me,
right.
how has you? I mean, you already told that you entered this profession only because of BNI. But tell me,
Right.
how has digital networking in general helped you over the years?
Okay. Very interesting again, because it's been 10 years. In fact, I just completed 10 years in BNI. And for a dentist, there is nothing called as networking, to be honest. We only network, so-called network, with fellow dentists or
Right,
doctors.
right,
And the topic, I don't know if there are any dentists in the audience, they might agree with me that if you're conversing with dentists, they will only talk about how mind-bogglingly competitive and saturated dentistry is. When I came into business networking, uh, you know, I don't know, my world suddenly opened up, because I met people who were in such different businesses. And for a moment, for a dentist, all of that was weird. Like, my first interaction in one of the training programs was with somebody who said his business was scanning documents. And for a dentist, I was like, what kind of business is this? I mean, how does one make business out of just scanning
I
documents?
mean,
Uh, you know. And then he told me, no, you don't know. Insurance companies need these documents to be digitized and all of that. And I said, oh wow. I mean, to make a business out of that, and then he does indexing of that, and he does a whole lot of things. So networking expanded my worldview. If I have to
right,
sum it up in that one particular sentence, it expanded my worldview. It brought me out of the four walls of that cubicle that we operate in.
right,
And more often, we are the ones who are talking because our patients cannot talk. Uh, Either we have pulled out their tooth or our hands are into their mouth and they cannot really talk. So, dentistry also made me talk a lot with people. If I was not in BNI, or if I was not in this networking organization, I would still say I'm kind of an introvert person, but you would not see me talking like the way I am talking. It would be very limited, one syllable answers, yes, no kind of an answer, and that conversation would stop. So yes, networking brought did me a lot good. I'm also a trainer in BNI. Helps me
Correct.
put myself on the public platform. The public speaking has improved. The visibility is amazing. Uh, Gave me a good new business altogether, which is helping me live kind of a purpose of my life where I'm able to help people impact their lives and do so many things for them. So definitely, networking has been such a great boon uh, for me.
Interesting. So, any tips that you would have for budding entrepreneurs who want to consider doing business network?
So tips for networking, definitely. I think no matter what, you should be joining a networking organization. That is for sure. Uh, if you know, and I would really recommend go out of your industry. Have an have a different networking organization which is not a part of just your industry, because
Right.
in the industry you are more often than not you're discussing about the problems that are plagued that the industry is plagued by. You are talking about things that are not working, but when you go out, you meet a lot more positive people. You meet people with a different perspective who shed light very differently onto your problems. So tips, if I have to say, definitely do network, and if you're networking, smile a lot, and be genuinely interested in the opposite person. I think my best connections have been with people in whom I have been genuinely interested, and who have been genuinely interested back in me. And it is never the questions, those typical questions that have taken the relationship forward. It is always actually talking about your personality as a whole. Like I and Vipul have bonded about books. Like we would
Right.
talk about books, like as to what are you reading
Correct.
right
Correct.
now, and that is a common link. So find a common link is another tip that I would say. Find people who share the common interests, and uh, try and network up. Try and network with people who have done better than you, so that you can pick up from them, you can emulate them, and you can do things that they did, and also avoid the mistake that they have done while they were growing.
Okay. So, one last question.
Sure.
Coming to the close of time that we have discussed, but Meera Sawan has again asked another question. So, the question
Right.
is, how can being good at accountability affect our lives in the long run?
So accountability, see, you know what? Accountability per se might be a very new concept to a lot of people, but it is something that has been there since childhood. अगर आप देखोगे तो, okay, you were given a homework, you were expected to do that homework. As simple as that. If you were not doing the homework, teacher was asking, okay, why you have not done the homework, okay? And then as you grew up, you found study partners who would help you do that homework, or
Right.
uh, take you better. You would find somebody who's better than you, or if you were better than somebody, you would always find somebody coming to you and asking कि यार मेरे को ये नहीं समझ रहा, ये solve करके दे. So having that option, somebody to constantly have a conversation about your goal is very important. And that per se, I would say, is the crux of accountability. Today, no matter, even if I don't give a system to people, I feel that if I talk to them daily about their goal, and what they are doing about their goal is enough to keep them on track. Okay, so अगर मैं आपको रोज पूछूं कि ठीक है क्या किया आज, what did you do, okay, we were supposed to hit this particular target, ये आज क्यों नहीं हुआ, in a very friendly way, not in a very judgmental kind of way. uh, you know, at the back of your mind, every day you have this thing, okay, Ajinkya is going to ask me and I need to answer him.
Right.
Yesterday I couldn't answer him, today I got to answer him. If not today, then tomorrow I have to
Tomorrow.
answer him.
Correct.
So, invariably, okay, you are on track. And when you are on track, when you are at it every single day, that is consistency. That is what will keep you going. That is discipline. And I think discipline is the hallmark of success. It just it makes you successful. So I would say, if I have to sum that answer up, it is accountability brings discipline in your life. And you might feel funny that it might all sound like one day I was taking this calendar management session. and I was telling them how to architect your calendar, and it seemed like I don't know if you've seen Dil Chahta Hai, and there is this Sonali Kulkarni and उसका एक boyfriend बताया है उसमें who says कि मैं Monday को ये करने वाला हूँ, Tuesday को ये करने वाला हूँ, that disciplined man. Uh, but maybe that is what brings success. I've seen people who are the most you know disciplined are the most successful ones.
There is a guy in my chapter on video. He actually has his time made into blocks of 20 minutes, and he's actually written down what each of those 20 minutes. And I think
Yeah.
out of 24 hours in a day, I think about 20 hours he's already ready with for the next 1 month or so.
Yeah, I mean, if you actually see my calendar, if I have to share it, you will see that my time is blocked for every single thing. It is color coded. Uh, Everything is being put. At least those activities are put. Like for example, I know my Sunday is blocked for family. I mean, that is untouchable. That is non-negotiable. You cannot touch that you know and again, one small accountability tip: if you use Google calendars or if you do anything on your calendar, share it with your spouse, because the spouse knows when you are available, when you're not available. My calendar is shared with the spouse, so she need not ask me, okay, where you are, what are you going to do. She knows where exactly I am, so there's no running away from anything. So helps.
Great, and it keeps you accountable as a spouse as well, right? And
Yes,
your wife knows
absolutely.
exactly where you are.
Yes.
Fantastic. Thank you, Ajinkya. Thanks for being so generous with your time.
Thank you
You
so
have
much.
very,
Thank you,
very
Vipul. We had a great conversation,
really
and thank
appreciate
you to all
it.
the viewers. Great questions, Vipul. Really loved answering all of them, and I hope everybody got some insight into accountability, and I hope that is, going to be of use in the future for them.
Thank you so much. And thanks everybody for logging in for the question. And yeah, that's it for me. So we'll see each other next week once again.
Thank you.